everybody, and welcome to the Rule Bender. As always, I shall be your host, Ian Canfield. Now, for the Dungeons and Dragons topic, we're going to talk today about saving throws in the game, and also mental health and how Dungeons and Dragons can be a tool to assist people with mental health issues. So this is going to be on a bit of a personal level, and it's going to be quite a deep discussion. Bottom line is, Dungeons and Dragons has helped me majorly in the years. In the darkest times of my life, D&D was there for me to explore my creativity, put my mind to somewhere else. Because it doesn't really matter what people are into, whether you seek out playing video games, whether you seek to get lost in television, or anything like that, anything you decide to do. Bottom line is, everybody needs a little bit of escapism to escape reality sometimes. And that's where tabletop RPGs can really help people and bring people together. I spoke before about how I have a younger brother with autism. Playing D&D has allowed me to connect with him on a much deeper level than anything before, because everyone's wired a little differently, everyone's different, every player is different, every DM is different, every person you ever speak to in your life is wired differently and their brains reacts to different things in different ways. And being a game master is a way you can connect to people in lots of different levels. I mean, you'll hear a lot of horror stories about D&D, about some people having problem players, or people coming out with aggression. You know, people not enjoying the game as much as they thought they would. Like, everyone has issues in their life, and especially in times like these, COVID times have been hard for everyone. You know, nobody's came out of this unscathed. For those of you that still seek to play tabletop games, play Dungeons and Dragons, there's lots of services online that you can use. Me personally, I struggle online. I need that physical interaction from people, especially when I'm running a game. I like to bounce off people, surprise them, and I can only really do that in person. But for those of you that prefer being online, whether it be for security or because of insecurities, there's no shame in it whatsoever, and there's no shame in feeling frustrated, down, or anything like that. And the bottom line is, communication is key. So for all of you DMs that have issues with some of your players, talk to people. For players that have issues with the game running, or people in general, the only real enemy for D&D is scheduling and work schedules. But I know for myself, and for a lot of my friends that play, it has been an experience that we've all shared, because in your imagination where you go to, again, escapism, we all need it, we all thrive from it, we all like to get lost in our minds thinking about something that isn't reality, whether it be wizard warlocks, whether it be football, whether it be anything. We all need that time to get lost in our own minds, and for some people it can be quite dangerous as well. There's some people that suffer with a condition called psychosis, where they can lose contact with reality. But another side of the argument is there has been studies proven that long-term and short-term memory can be advanced. If anyone remembers the brain training on the Nintendo DS, I thought that was a genius idea. And that goes to show that your brain is a tool. Your brain is so powerful. It controls every function of your body. That's why stuff such as the Mandela effect exists, or the placebo effect. The placebo effect is where you think something hard like you think you're ill, so therefore your body becomes ill or has the functions of being ill. Or medicine, like a lot of medicines is a placebo effect. You think it's going to work, so therefore it works. Your brain has amazing control over your body and amazing control over you. And you just need to remember that you are the one in control. You control how you feel. You know, I know it's a lot easier said than done. I've been in some dark places in my life, as I've said, and Dungeons and Dragons brought me back through that because it gave me something else to focus on, something else to really delve into. And it can be used as a tool, you know, sort of like therapy. You know, I really do think that professionals could learn a thing or two about role playing and how it can be used for therapy to help people overcome their issues. I've had it before where players have had personal issues in their life. I've sort of known what was going on, and I've put similar situations in the game for them to overcome, so at the end of it they feel stronger and they feel closer to the people around them for sharing that. But sometimes that doesn't always work. Sometimes you've got to leave people to come out on their own accord and talk about their issues on their own accord. Again, when they do, you know, as I've said, when you're lost in your imagination with your friends' trials and tribulations and stuff like that, sometimes these games can mean more to people than just a game. Sometimes it's a way of them being somebody else, having control in their life, or feeling strong, you know, and having people around them. Because some people aren't that fortunate, some people don't have many people around them. And needs to connect with people in some ways. And again, if you're a person that doesn't have many people around you and is interested, the D&D community is amazing. There's lots of things online, on Facebook, on social media and everything like that, where everyone is always willing to help newcomers or even veterans, you know, people that have been playing or DMing for years. There's always hints and tips that they're willing to give people and help each other out, and it's absolutely brilliant. So I do recommend delving into it because it can give you a sense of human interaction that you could be missing from your life. But all in all, when it comes to the game itself and the mechanics, something I like to explore is horror, and how being scared can be good, how everyone can enjoy being scared sometimes or feeling a little overwhelmed, because when they conquer it, once again they come out feeling stronger and bolder excuse me, and wanting to take on more in their life because they feel like they can. And me personally, being a DM, that's what I'm about. I'm about helping people, making people feel good, because when people walk away from my session glad, talking about it for days to come with other friends, that really means the world to me. And but again, horror, about people being scared, and about sometimes being scared is good. You know, whether you like horror films or not, or something like that, there's part of it to be said about that, of, you know, being scared gets your heart rate going, releases the endorphins in your brain because your body thinks it's active. You know, there is a science behind it, like, but I'm not a scientist, so I'm not going to delve too much into something that I don't fully understand or have any right in saying so. I'm just here to give my perspectives and talk about my personal aspects, and hope it helps you guys, really. But yeah, my personal opinion is D&D can definitely help people feel welcome towards others, and help them feel better about themselves, and I definitely recommend it for anyone who seeks some form of connection in their life. You know, it's a great community to be part of, and it's a great game to be involved in, especially when you're involved with your friends, and there's ways of, it's a way of bonding really on a completely different level. Um, but yeah, also I was going to talk about wheel saves. Now, in 5th edition, every attribute has a save. Strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, charisma. They all have a save. Now, in 3.5 rules, there's 3 fundamental saves: the fortitude save, the reflex save, and the will save. The fortitude save is about someone being tough. So say, for example, they drink a poisonous drink, or they've had a few too many drinks at the bar, how their body can handle it. And once again, it's decided on a dice roll, and it comes under constitution. Reflex save, self-explanatory, to do with the reflex, how quickly they can move out of the way of something. Then the will save, which is the most interesting in my opinion, because that is all to do with brain power, you know, somebody's willpower, how shocked they are. I've mentioned before that I'm a huge fan of the Cthulhu mythos, and I have adapted a lot of it into my Dungeons & Dragons campaigns, and a lot to do with horror. And when things come up, there's lots of will saves to be had where people roll dice to see how scared they are of a situation or what they perceive. DMs ultimately have the final say. It even says in the rule books the rules are guidelines basically, and it's all about something called DM's discretion. So the game master running the game is the one in charge, and it's up to their perspective. But don't shun other people's perspective. Other people's perspectives can be